What's up guys, my name is Gabe and welcome into the Trojan Blade. So with the news of Mario Williams entering the transfer portal, the wide receiver room is going to look totally different next year. It's very young, it's very unproven, so I just kind of wanted to come on here for a few minutes and really just talk to you guys about what I expect from this room going forward, what we should potentially look to add, and who could break out next year. Now of course the entries to the transfer portal are not done. We could see another entry, or it could just stay the way it is, I really have no idea. But before we get into it, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to check out my new channel, Gabe Talks Football, that I have linked down in the description. Thank you all so much for being here today. Let's get into this. Alright, so first talking about the departures from the wide receiver room. So far we've seen Brendan Rice and Taj Washington declare for the draft. We've seen Michael Jackson enter the portal. We've seen Raleigh Brown enter the portal. He was playing some wideout as well. And now we have Mario Williams entering the portal. So this room is getting a complete overhaul. When you lose 5 guys from one room, it's a pretty big deal. Things are going to look completely different next year. Okay, now talking about who we have returning. Of course, we have to start with Zachariah Branch, elite athlete, big-time player, but the big question for him is, can he really turn into that big-time wide receiver? As of right now, I think he's classified more as an offensive weapon, more in that Tavon Austin kind of role. Can he become an elite wideout is the question I'm asking here. Can he run routes the right way? Can he block better downfield? Those are all questions he's going to have to answer. I have full faith he's going to do those things. He's that talented, but of course we do need to see it. The former Arizona Wildcat Dorian Singer returns as well. I really think Dorian got a bad rap this year. This is what I think about Dorian, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Dorian Singer did not mesh well with Caleb Williams. Dorian Singer is not a scramble drill wideout. What Dorian Singer is run down the field, separation or no separation, throw it up to him and he's going to make a crazy catch. He's as much a possession receiver as I've ever seen. He's not the guy that's going to run around for 10 seconds and make guys miss and get wide open. That's just not his game. And of course that was Caleb's game almost every single play. So if you pair him with a guy like Will Howard that'll sit in the pocket and actually throw that ball up there, I think he's in store for a much bigger year in 2024. And the Big Ten isn't like the Pac-12. You're going to see a lot of press man week in, week out. Having a guy like Dorian that can go up one-on-one and make those contested catches is going to be huge. So I'm expecting big things from him next year. Kyron Hudson returns in the receiver room as well. He's one of those guys, he's just kind of very solid at everything. He doesn't wow you with any facet of his game. Can he be a big-time player? I'm not necessarily sure. Like when he started the first game last year, I was very surprised. Now, coming off the bench as a role player, I think he's wonderful, especially down in the red zone. In 2022, the year before, he showed a really good tendency to get open down there. But as an every down player, I don't really see it. We then, of course, have to talk about Deuce Robinson. I mean, this guy's an athletic freak. 6'6", 220 pounds, can run like the wind. He can jump, he's physical, and of course, as we saw against Washington, he can block kicks. So while Zachariah might be the most talented player in this room, I think Deuce Robinson's going to be the most important next year. If that guy takes a step, that changes this entire offense, in my opinion. There simply aren't receivers that are built like Deuce very often. You have Johnny Wilson at Florida State, but Deuce is a better athlete than he is. Teams are already aware of Zachariah. When he's on the field, he's going to be getting double teamed. They're going to be game planning to take him away. So it's an absolute necessity to have someone step up and become a big time player so that when Deuce is matched up one-on-one, he can take advantage of it. A guy with that frame, that athleticism, that yak ability, he could truly be so important to this offense. One of the keys to the offense, in my opinion. So him taking that next step is going to be absolutely enormous. I think he's going to do it, but there's a theme here. I need to see him do it. And finally, to finish up the returners, we need to talk about Jacoby Lane. Now, I am a huge fan of Jacoby Lane. 6'5", can jump out of the gym, enormous hands. I think he wears like 6X gloves or something crazy like that. If you guys saw any of the catches he was making in high school, it was ridiculous. He played sparingly this last year. I think a lot of that had to do with his frame. If he put some weight on him, geez, this could be a big receiving core. Pair him with Deuce Robinson. I think that would be just a fantastic combination right there. I really think he's a sleeper to have a big year next year. But again, I need to see it. I don't know. That's the thing with all these guys coming back. We don't know. It's a very weird spot to be in. So far in Lincoln Riley's first 2 years at USC, obviously in year 1, you had Jordan Addison. We all knew he was going to be a superstar, and he was. And then coming into year 2, you had Taj Washington and Brendan Rice, who in 2022, especially at the end of the year for Brendan, really showed to be true reliable wideouts. We don't have that going into next year, not even close. Of course, Dorian was that at Arizona, but we haven't seen that at USC. And we can talk about Mekhi Lemon here too, although his situation is very weird. Is he going to play wideout? Is he going to play defensive back? I think his upside is much higher playing DB, but I don't think that's where he wants to play, so that could be an issue. But again, it's still true here, very unproven, no clue what we're going to see from him. So this wide receiver room going into next year is very young, very explosive, very athletic, but completely and utterly unproven. And guys, again, I know how talented and good that Zachariah Branch is, but as of right now, as we sit, December 16th, 2023, he is not a complete wideout yet. He's the best athlete on the team, he's the most dangerous returner in the entire country, but he is not a complete wideout yet. So when we take a look at this group for next year, we have to ask ourselves, is this an acceptable group going into that first game against LSU? First drive, we come out, 3 wideout set. You have Zachariah Branch, Deuce Robinson, and Dorian Singer. Are you comfortable with that? Because personally for me, while I love all of them, and I'm very excited for all their growth, I think you have to have a proven veteran out there. We saw it last year with this team. This team can get the drops. It happens to everybody. There's no Taj Washington to bail everyone out, to catch that critical third down, to make that huge block downfield. We don't have that guy that's proven that he can do that over and over again. And to me, that's a very big concern, especially with the schedule we have, and especially with the schedule early in the year. Deuce Robinson is going to be a completely different player in that first game against LSU than he'll be at the end of the year against UCLA. When you're playing as a young guy, the growth you have in a season is absolutely astronomical. So in that first game, I would really like to have a veteran there. Someone who's been there, done that, played in big games in big environments. And of course, that's not on the team, and you're not going to get that out of high school. So that means we have to look to the transfer portal. And of course, the question there is who's in the transfer portal that we can take that fits that profile. Honestly, right now at the wideout spot, it's pretty slim pickings. There's not a lot of names that jump off the page here. I thought Josh Kelly from Washington State would have been a great fit, but he's going to Texas Tech. I was a big fan of Will Shepherd at Vanderbilt, 6'2", 200 pounds, but he's going to Colorado. Which, by the way, you guys know I'm no fan of Colorado, but man, Deion's putting together a hell of a class over there. Julian Fleming is a name I had circled from the jump, but USC doesn't seem to be a real player there. It seems like he's going to Penn State. So you're just scrolling further and further down the list here. Do you look at a guy like Isaiah Nayer from Texas? 6'3", 195 senior, he's played a lot of ball. Of course, with the transfer portal and it being so early, we don't know who's going to enter. Will there be a Jordan Addison type situation? These are the things we just don't know. But with this group being so young, so inexperienced, if you could pluck an elite wideout from a school and insert him into this lineup, that would change everything in my opinion. Now, obviously, we do have some freshmen coming as well. Xavier Jordan from Sierra Canyon, Ryan Pelham from Milliken and Long Beach. Those two guys are going to be incredible. You want to talk about elite athletes, they both are that. But again, true freshmen. There's no wideout in the country as a true freshman I would be cool with relying on. The game's too different, the corners are too good and too physical, too big. It's such a big change. I personally just wouldn't be comfortable rolling with that. So again, I think the portal has to be the answer here. Now, I don't think we need to go for quantity here. I don't think we need 2 or 3 guys, maybe just a guy. Again, a guy that's proven he can do it down in, down out, big time games, big time competition. Because guys, remember, we are going into an absolute gauntlet in 2024. This isn't going to be your 2022 USC schedule with Oregon State, Washington State, Rice, games like that. It's going to be a week in, week out war against the best this sport has to offer. LSU, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Washington. It is absolutely ridiculous how loaded our schedule is. If I'm USC and I have the ability to, I 1000% go after Arizona wide receiver Tedoroa McMillan, aka T-Mac. That guy's a stud, that guy's a baller. Of course, I think it is unlikely because his high school quarterback is the quarterback at Arizona. So I just don't see that one happening. Again, I'm trying to be realistic here, so I won't say a guy like Luther Burden from Missouri. He seems pretty entrenched in that program. But look, I honestly have no idea what we're going to do. I know we have to add somebody. Again, big question. Who's that guy going to be? I have no clue. But yeah, the news of Mario Williams entering the portal didn't really surprise me. When I first read it, I was slightly surprised, and then I thought about it for a second, and it actually makes a lot of sense. He had a rough year this year. He really had a rough end to last year too. The drops kind of caught up with him. I didn't necessarily think the effort was there down in, down out, but still very grateful for Mario coming over and putting his faith into a 4-8 program and really giving us a chance. So thank you, Mario. Wish you the best. But as always on this channel, we move on. All right, guys, so this was just a little discussion video. Just wanted to tell you guys what I'm thinking. As always, I would love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this wide receiver room. What do you think about our young guys? Who do you want to add? Let me know everything. As always, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all your continued support. You are all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.